All right. All right. I guess that worked, huh? Cool. All right. Cool. Welcome to the stream. We got 9 people watching. That's cool. For the first time putting this out on Twitter. I gotta mute my stream so I don't hear myself. All right. So what we're gonna be looking at today, I'm working on this Call of Duty 2 multiplayer map. This old Search and Destroy map that I haven't finished. My brother asked me to build this like 2 years ago because he still plays competitive COD 2, and I told him I would, and I regretted it instantly. I started blocking it out. I was happy with the block out, but then, I forgot how long it takes to detail and build Call of Duty maps. And so I nailed down like the block out. I tested it a few times. Like we had play sessions with my brother and his competitive crew to kind of validate some of the stuff that I was doing. So that was cool. And I made some changes, and then I started arting it. And then I would work on it for like 15 minutes here and there over the course of throughout towards the end of COVID, really. So I figured I'd use this stream to kind of weekly, work on it every chance I got, and just talk level design with people that are watching. So if you're watching and you have like a level design topic you want to talk about while I'm doing this stuff, throw it up in the chat. We'll chat. If you're watching this, what I'm doing here is I'm like detailing this building. So if you're like, hey, that's not level design, that's art. Well, we're your social control of mapping. Okay. So that's good. Yeah, I like it. But if you're looking at this like, hey, that's not level design, that's art. Well, that's valid. But also, back in the day on these Call of Duty games, the level designers used to art the maps too, and there wasn't really an art team. I think slowly over time there was an art team on like at Infinity Ward. A lot of the designers did everything from scratch up through Modern Warfare 2, I believe. And I think they started having the original Modern Warfare 2. They had a small art team at that time that did some of the polish work. But before that, it was like for Call of Duty 1 and 2, it was all, in Modern Warfare 1, it was all the designers that would take the art to ship, which is cool. So anyway, I'm going to start working on this destroyed building. So level design wise, this building is, so we've got like the search and destroy. If we talk about like the game mode for a second. So we've got the 2 bomb sites. Bomb site A is over here. Bomb site B is over here. The defender spawn back over here. And the attackers in this back corner. And so this building that we're looking at here kind of overlooks, or, it looks through a window that looks toward the bomb site, right? So I really like this kind of thing because, a lot of times designers, when you try to build like an advantageous position like this, like a sniper spot in a first-person game like this, especially Call of Duty, the initial thought is, I want to make this position like, I really want snipers to go here, and I really want them to, you're going to camp here for a while is what ends up happening. But that's too much. Like it becomes really imbalanced. People just camp. It's not really a good sniper position is one that players get to, and like, sure, you can see a little bit and you get some visibility and you have this advantage, but it's kind of tamed, right? It's like, it's not everything. So with this, it's like, we've got the sliver, this little window through this destroyed building that looks over at the bomb site. And so like, yeah, maybe you can have some call outs with your team. Like, oh yeah, they're definitely over here. Like they're defending the spot. Maybe hook around far right or go mid street or whatever. And maybe you can get some shots off, but you're not going to want to stay here for too long, right? Like it's meant to promote you to hop out the window and keep going. So anyway, this is the building that we're detailing. Any level design topics you want to chat about, let me know. I'm going to start. What I think my goal is here with this building, it's a destroyed building, but I don't want the whole thing to be like open aired through the top. And that's mainly because I don't want players to be able to toss grenades from the bomb site. Like I don't want the defenders to be able to toss grenades from back here. And I also don't want the attackers to lob them over. It's too far, and then it becomes a thing that everybody does. So I just want to kind of block off that roof, but still have it be kind of destroyed. So we're going to do like, how am I going to do this here with the BSP? Let's do this. Throw this up here. So we still get like a rooftop Still gonna need the roof, but then I'm gonna cut this one open. Which way do I want to do it? I'll go this way. There we go. So now I'm just gonna start to lay the shape work, or like the groundwork for the shape of this destroyed section. So I really, this position right here, this is the window, right? So I want this to be covered, because if there's a chance that there are some small slivers where a grenade can kind of pop through, I definitely don't want it to be over where the player's standing, right, in the window. So that part I'm going to make sure I cover. And then this portion's destroyed, so there'll be some like wood that kind of hangs off. Like maybe give it a little nice like angled splinter through the middle. Something like this. All right, so we can start there. I'm trying to think. All right, so now I'm going to just start chopping it down. So here's what we do. We're going to get this BSP. We'll have like brushes that are really small. Here, let me get this. I don't want that corner in there. All right. So we're gonna make individual pieces of wood that kind of hang off. I'm gonna go over here, and I need like a good texture. Actually, I don't think that you can all see my texture window. Let me just try to change that real fast. Okay, there we go. That's perfect. All right, so you can see the texture window now in my little TV. It's cool, right? I made that. It took me like all day. It didn't. All right, so I need like a core texture here. What do we got here? Let's find something. I love Radiant so much that I can just do everything myself. But I do, as much as I miss kind of taking on both roles as like an artist and the designer, I only miss it sometimes, because I think at your core, if you're a designer, you should really just be focusing on the design. And so when you get into these modes where you have to iterate and make changes to the art after you've already spent a lot of time doing it, it can kind of, not start to not get as fun, kind of like the novelty wears out. So it's kind of like nice to have that balance of where you're working on one thing where you're detailing, and then another one when you're blocking out, so you can kind of go back and forth when you start to feel feel bogged down by one. Anyway, I can't, man, multitasking is tough, right? All right, let's do this. Let's focus. Now I don't want all of these to be the same size, so I'm going to try to I'll scale them out. I don't want them to start all at the same spot either. But I guess that's, what? Players aren't going to really look up, so I'm not going to try to go too crazy here. It's fine. They'll survive. If the wood grain doesn't line up, and it wouldn't be like that. It's not realistic. It's called Call of Duty 2. This is probably more detail than... No, this is pretty much what they did in the ship maps too. See, we can do like individual pieces like that, and then we can just do another one next to it that's like longer, but we need it to be... Yeah. There we go. And then we can turn some of this into... So we can do a couple different things here. We can like angle it down. We can angle this one up. We can angle those ones down. Just making sure that this wasn't the floor that the players are standing on, right? Because you don't want to have... Like with this part, I'll have to be careful about how I detail this one, because I want players to be able to run off of it. I want that to be clear. I don't want you to get stuck on everything. I mean, I can handle all that with clip and set things to non-collide, but it's nice to not have to, and it's nice so that the way that it looks is the way that it functions, I guess, I saw your. I don't know if you're watching anymore, Trey, but thanks for the call out on Twitter. I saw that. It's very nice of you. Bump bump. All right. And this is. I'm just gonna do this all over. I'm just gonna copy these pieces. Let's just focus. Let's get some focus here. Let's just focus on the top part. Boom. If you're watching and if you're not part of the community, if you're not in the Design Den, please join. There's a lot of fun conversations going on. People working on levels. We do challenges. If you want to work in game development, it's a really cool place to kind of network and talk to people, and share ideas and feedback. Get feedback. That's a big one. If you have a portfolio, we have like a portfolio channel. It's a forum channel, so you can post up your portfolio, ask for specific feedback, which I would suggest doing, so it's more directed and people know what you want feedback on. But you can just throw it up and ask for feedback. And then we have a mod, Nathan. He works at Lost Boys, and he does portfolio reviews on our Discord once a month. I kind of think we should move it to Twitch, but they're on Discord, so you can talk and go over stuff with Nathan right there, which is really cool. And he just volunteers his time to do that, which is amazing. So there's a lot of people helping other people. There's been a lot of people that have gotten jobs, met other people that join teams with them to work on games. It's been a couple games that are just being made, and it's cool. People reach out to me and be like, "Oh, we met through the Design Den. Like, that's really awesome that you have that," and blah blah blah. It's cool because I feel like I don't really like. It's a beast that I don't even like control. So it's cool. It's a cool place. Check it out. I'll try to do it as long as I can. I feel like one day I'll like give it away, like, Nathan, here, it's yours now. Here are the keys. I can't do it anymore. It's too much. Are you watching, Nathan? Are you watching, Nathan? That was like almost a tongue twister. Are you watching, Nathan? How's everyone's break? Is the messages, are they working? They are. They're going right through to OBS. That's cool. There's 7 people watching. What's everyone up to? Or are you just so glued to what I'm doing right here with the wood? He changed the angle of the wood grain. Can't do that in Unreal. Radiant's a really fun editor. If you don't know, like if you're just kind of first getting into level design or in your education in level design, and you don't know that Call of Duty has mod tools, well, you do now. And if you like Call of Duty, then I highly suggest you learn the tools, because if it's your dream or a goal or just potential job to work on the franchise, I would say that it's still the best way to get a job at one of the Call of Duty studios is, well, it's a big leg up if you know Radiant and know your way around the tools a little bit. Because if you can make like a detailed scene, but also like good gameplay and just make like cool combat spaces and, extra points for like a single player mission, even if it's just the LD, it'll bode well for you. I don't work there anymore, so I'm not like, trying to advertise, but at the same time, just to help you out. Just giving you some tips, okay? What does it look like now? That's cool. That's fine. Like, you can start to see where it's like, okay, this looks a little, maybe I could like do this. Bring it back a little bit more. Should this be like Bob Ross? Should I be like mapping while listening? Nice. Okay. Making some cool stuff. Yeah. Aaron, you're cool. You're like the most watched. You were here for the other day too. We should play some more Overwatch too soon. I want to, we should play Apex together, actually. want to get more into arenas again. Arenas was like my favorite thing in that game. It got me like back into Apex. I started playing it like all the time because of arenas. And it was cool because then, you get sick of arenas and you just jump into BR. So it was like a nice little palette cleanser setup of the modes. You know. All right, that's fine for that side. And then, we can just like copy and paste right to this side. I gotta watch the time. I'm gonna do this for about a half hour longer because I have to go back to work because this is technically my lunch break, even though it's like 9:30 p.m. here. But like I change my hours to work most days. So I've got stuff to do. What am I doing? Oh man. No. Just want to grab. Whatever. We'll just. Cool. Let me get down the shape of this side. We kind of. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine the way it is. Yeah, I don't know. After I make this map, coming back to the States this year, I don't know. It depends on when I get citizenship. But also, like, we're not trying to leave Sweden like the second we get citizenship, but like, probably will soon after. Because I love Sweden. If you're watching this, please don't give me citizenship because I said I'm gonna leave after I get citizenship. Because we're probably not right away, like I said. But I don't know if it'll happen this year. It just depends when we get it. It's funny because my wife and I say she's my wife, but we're not really married technically yet. So we want to like get married in Copenhagen and like have a huge thing, and want the kids to have citizenship so they have some cool opportunities when they're older. And we want to buy a house in the States too. So it's like a lot of stuff to figure out. But at some point, yeah, we'll be back. I can't work 9 or 7 to 2 a.m. my whole life. Eventually, it's just going to get to a point where it's like, we don't have citizenship yet, but I can't do this much longer. Let's just go now. Let's chop this up a little bit more. Like that. So after I art this whole thing, well, no. So there's like a part I have my suspicions about the one of the bomb sites and the spawn area for the defenders. That I'm like happy with it, but I feel like when I play tested it, I got a lot of feedback, and it was a lot of. The feedback was pretty much like it's working, but I think that the spawn, the main thing was that the attackers get to the bomb site sooner than the defenders, which shouldn't be the case. And also it's not, but I'm not doing a good job with the LD and kind of like guiding the defenders there appropriately, and then also providing them with enough cover and kind of opportunities to kind of get into good positions and defend well from. So I think that's actually part of the feed. Like that's actually what's going on, right? So I need to kind of have a feeling that I'm going to have to rework some stuff over there. So I'm only going to art like this half of the level, and then I'm going to play test it again with those same people and see what happens, and then go back, which by the way is like the best thing. Like if you can't play test and you're working on multiplayer, you're just, if you're making something for your portfolio, like fine, sure, but like there's really no way that you can validate if it's good or not. You might think it's awesome, and that's the thing, is that every time you build something for PvP, in your head I feel like right away you're like, yeah, okay, cool, you might think this is awesome, and it doesn't matter how much experience you have. It does a little bit, but for the most part, it doesn't matter how much experience you have on making in that game. It's like if you test it, you're going to get a slew of feedback that's going to change your whole entire what your action, like what you're going to do next, right? Like, is this going to guide you, and you're going to get ideas, you're going to get inspired to do something different. It's going to get you past some mapper's block that you had on an area that you weren't super happy with, and all of it kind of starts to come together. It's almost like getting feedback in playtesting is such a vital part of the process. It's like just as important as anything else. It's just building the map. So you're not really getting the full true experience of what it's like to go through the process of a multiplayer PvP map, whatever you want to call it, unless you're playtesting, in my opinion. But what are you going to do when you're a student or a modder or a hobbyist, and you still need to do it. You need to build something. You're not just going to not do it because you can't playtest it. So you kind of have to do the best you can and just learn, give your map out to people, make videos, ask for feedback on Twitter, in the design den, wherever you go to do that kind of stuff. That's how it's gonna happen. It's weird. Like I don't map at the same time as I'm like talking to people, so this would be so much more efficient if I wasn't. So if you're watching this and you're like a Radiant person and you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I know. Okay. I know. I can't even watch the VODs back because it's like, I really don't like watching myself talk, or hearing myself talk and watching myself. So I even when I do like the YouTube stuff, I don't really like, after I edit it, it's like I never watch that thing again. Why would I? I love myself, by the way. I'm just saying that I'm not a fan of watching myself. Okay? Don't get so upset with me. Don't get so judgy, okay? I'm fine. Oh, yeah. I can talk into this either. Yeah. I want to do more with this stuff though. Like if I want, it doesn't tell me. I want people to come on here with me and like talk about stuff too. So I think we'll set more stuff up like that. I think in the future we're looking at doing like discussions with devs on the Twitch, like interview style stuff, but also like play games with other people. Like maybe people who have worked on the game that we're playing, right? And they can do like a live commentary of whatever it is that we're looking at. And I also I'm going to be inviting other developers on here to have their own like show, like their own thing that they do. Because I think that would be cool. Imagine having like a level design TV channel, or like a game development channel where you just come on, like there's a schedule and, maybe it'll be like someone Bob Rossing the shit out of a map like this. And then another time it's just like an interview and you're just learning and soaking stuff up. It's a lot of work. And no one's paying me to do this. I've only just realized. Shit. Eventually we'll set up like donations and stuff, but I never want to have a paywall with our community. There are other communities that do that, and that's fine. And if they want to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think I want to do it. All right. How are we looking here? We got to do the bottom section now. Just copy this down here. Okay. Let's see this here. I'm actually going to... All right. So I'm fine with this for now. I don't need to go crazy. Let's see. We're going to finish... I wonder if I can run it. Should we run the map? We should run the map, right? That would be fun to do for the last bit. Okay, so this is going to make the D3D file. It's going to go here. All right, so let's get this in here. So this is actually the layout here behind me. The top down. So we were working on this little building right here. So let's jump into the game, shall we? Let's see. Sometimes this doesn't work. There we go. All right, let's see if we can. There we go. Is this gonna work? Yes. And the floating stuff. All right, so this is the building we were just working on. This is where the bomb site will be. I guess I didn't have it set up for capture the flag yet. Or S&D. I didn't at least put that on the server when I started. But yeah, this is kind of like where it's at right now. It's so horrible. It's unorganized. Definitely not like the best way to start working on a map or to detail it out. Like I said, a lot of it was because I was just bouncing around for months on end, working on it here and there. But anyway, so the area that I was talking about before, let's check out the other bomb site here. So this is where right now you spawn as a defender. So right away you can kind of get sight on the one bomb site and you can kind of go that way, which is a pretty common thing. There's maps that have that. They're not always blocked. And then you go right and right away you get your options to kind of go up here to defend the B site. I think this is the B site, which it's like a half track right here that's been pulled into this building and destroyed. Or you can kind of go work your way through here. And now the thing is that's really kind of, see, I thought I added more. I thought I like blew out this whole section and added more. But right now that's kind of it for the defenders. But when you're coming from the attacker side, so let me just get back here real fast. When you're working your way down this street, you kind of come in here. You can get up here. It's like boom. You know, you can see both of those positions pretty easily, and you have all this real estate to work with, right? You can kind of come back over here if you came from this path, and you can tuck behind this wall. You can go this way, kind of get the jump on them, kind of like wait for them to kind of like push a little bit or sneak around, and you can kind of, or do this. So yeah, it's definitely more, you know, advantageous for the attackers in this space, which I don't really want. So I'm gonna have to kind of maybe rework a little bit of this, but we'll see. I'm gonna play test it. I'm gonna leave it as is for now. Detail up this like this half of the map, the street, the back area, and all this. Maybe some of this mid street, and then we'll play test it again. So maybe just a few weeks. There's a lot to do all this. I don't know. It's like we'll see. I started doing 9 a.m. Streams as well, my time, before I start working in the morning, to do like an hour then for anyone in Europe. But I don't really have many viewers then, and it was cool that there was like, what, 8 or I don't know how many people were on here. Let's see. Got 10 people. Cool. Right on. But yeah, this is, I think I'm going to stop now. I think this is a good spot. Next time I'll just keep working on that building. I'll probably do it maybe Friday morning, European time, but I'm going to try to go fast with this stuff too, right? Because I'd imagine it's pretty boring to kind of like watch me detail all this out. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun when I have to change the defender spawn area and play test it. I don't know if I'll stream the play test, but we'll see. But anyway, thanks for joining, everyone. I'll announce, or I'll put on this the Twitch schedule when I'm going to do this again. So please give the channel a follow, whatever, subscribe, whatever they call it on here, and I'll do this more and hopefully get better at it. And yeah, thanks for showing up. Take it easy. Have a good night, everyone.